Peace and love, family. It's your girl, Sixthegoddis. And keep in mind, I'm a goddess and I'm sensitive about my shifts. How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing well. I am doing well. I wanted to review this with y'all because I thought it was a very interesting conversation and it was a lot of talking points that a lot of divestors and swirlers try to use. And I think it will be some good dialogue to talk about it. So, we're going to go ahead and break all that down. I'm going to get right into it and pull this up. And right before I get into this, ladies, get into today's makeup look, get into today's hair look. If y'all ladies don't know by now, I have a women's only Patreon, and we are over there looking good. We are over there being the best version of ourselves in the mirror, and we are getting to it, honey. Okay. I have a women's only Patreon where I get ready live for all of my recorded and live content. I don't gatekeep at all. I show you every single product I use, every technique from beginning to end. And while I'm doing that, we have some great girl talk about all different subjects about motherhood, womanhood, sisterhood, all of that. It's a great community of women from all walks of life. We have a group chat. We have a Discord type of thing. We do get-togethers. We have movie nights, meetups. It's just such a amazing community of women and support. Hundreds of girls over there. If you tired of being in spaces with a bunch of women that just make you feel comfortable in your mediocrity, you tired of being mean and ugly, come to Death Row, baby. The link for that Patreon will be in the description below. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into it so I can provide my commentary. Once again, before we get into this video, I don't want to hear any, where is the school? I don't want to hear anything like necessarily like personal attacks. We are going to be dissecting the talking points here, period. Do not be in my comments talking about where's the school, where's all that. I don't care about that. It's a piece of content. We're going to use it to open up dialogue and have a conversation, period. Okay. So let me save y'all the trouble from writing this shit in the comments. I don't want to hear it.
So I left off at the end last session and starting off this session with asking a professional, a doctor of clinical psychology, do you feel I'm irresponsible as an entertainer, as a Black man with, as people say in the community, a super father, or some people even could say someone who has created many broken homes. I have 12 children.
God dang! That remind me of that when Kevin Hart was talking to a boy and he was like, yeah, I'm 53. He said, damn. God damn. 12 children. I'm sorry, I had to get that out. Yeah.
I am an open and free-spirited individual who, like we talked about before, feel everyone has the ability to live their life in which way that they wish, and I pass no judgment on anyone.
Okay, so let me stop right there. That talking point right there, I think everyone should live their life the way they want. I have no judgment. That is the starter kit talking point of people who are full of it. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right there, okay? You should be judgmental. There should be a right from wrong. Okay, I don't get this society we're in of do what you want. We're not judging is not helpful. Like, people need those clear lines, like especially the youth. We just let the youth do anything and we just sit there and clap for her like, oh, he's doing her thing, she's doing her thing. No, like, why is no one sitting down and saying, no, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong? This whole do what you want, people live the life the way they want, whatever make you happy, no judgment thing is exactly why now we got these kids kicking our door in. It's exactly now why we have all these children being touched on, being, mistreated. And, I don't want to say the word, but y'all get what I'm saying. It's the reason why we don't have any boundaries as a society now. Intelligent people are judgmental. They know right from wrong, and they have no problem standing on that. It's always people who want to have the leeway to harm others and to create brokenness. And they do it all under the guise of only God can judge me, don't judge me. And that right there is a huge talking point. That is, whenever I hear that talking point, I start backing into the corner. Absolutely not. All it is a guise to be able to do things that hurt others and have no one call you out on it. period. So he already lost me with that. That is, do what you want. I'm not judging, is not a justification. I just want that to be a thing.
I entertain, and in that same form, I've created shows like Wildin' Out to various different shows, to Bad versus Wild with Zeus, and all type of things where I've been ridiculed, and people often, irresponsible is light in what they've called me online. And I say that to say, if there is a place that I've been responsible, because as we know, Malcolm X probably said it the best, that the media is the most powerful tool on the planet, because it can have you, loving your oppressor and hating the media is really just an acronym for manipulating the culturally responsible thing with council culture. But I got to hold myself accountable. So as I sit here before you as a man who I've heard many times say that we should not, lightly say that we should not date outside our race. You've made many more colorful statements from the idea of, going skiing with the snow bunnies and many other terms. But
man, I be rolling when he be like, have you been swimming?
I do have children with.
He be like, have you been swimming in the milk? Y'all, I be on the floor.
Multiple races of women, and white being one of them. And I'm interested to know, one, how you feel about this, and then as I sit next to you, and I consider you my brother, I consider you someone that I admire and look up to in many different ways. But
likewise,
sometimes we agree to disagree on various. But this is a safe space to
yes,
have
sir.
this conversation.
Yes,
so
sir.
I say all that to say, as someone, I'm sitting on your couch today, Doc. Heal me, help me.
Right. When we deal with interracial relationships, I always like to qualify the conversation for people who are listening, especially those outside the community, so that they understand.
All right, we might have to speed this up. God dang, I ain't trying to be here all day. Hold on. Let's do like 1.5. Let's see if it's too fast.
And I don't come from a place of hate. I have nothing against the Caucasian woman, Asian woman, Latino woman, East Indian, Arab, all the various beautiful women of the world. I have nothing against them. But I'm loyal to the Black woman because she suffered the most at the hands of this society and this planet. And because I come from a Black woman, I have a special obligation towards her. And when I look at when our successful Black men tend to marry out or reproduce outside of the community, I think on some level, it can be insulting to our sisters. I consider it insulting to the community as a whole. And as someone who works in the school, I've had to entertain conversations with Black girls who are asking Dr. Umar, is there something wrong with me? Because it appears that when you all make it, y'all always abandon the community in pursuit of your spouse. And when we look at the wealth differential between successful Black men and the women they choose to marry or reproduce with, it's very obvious that there is a significant financial gain to the woman in many times, which equals a significant financial loss to the Black community.
I've heard you say this.
Now, I agree with what he just said there 100%. I've tried to tell women for the longest that a man is going to pick a woman that makes him look like the amount of money he got. Men are very good at knowing how to choose who is going to make them look like where they are in a certain economic standing. It doesn't work like that other way around. But if we're just being honest, the way a woman looks 100% dictates. And that's why I tell women, if you want a man that's aligned a certain way financially, you can't make him look poor. If you be honest with yourself, that if people saw you with a certain man, they would think, and they knew he had money and they saw him with you, they would think she must have been around from the beginning. Men don't work hard to make money just to get a woman that make him look more poor than what he actually is. If he worked hard to get the money, he's going to want the woman that matches. And when people see him with her, be like, oh, I know he got it. Who a man has on his arm 100% tells us a lot about his economic status. So when you have majority of Black women fat on the internet in bonnets, it works against you, because now showing up with a Black girl is not a flex, because nobody else is on the internet fat in bonnets but us. It's just a reality. Other races of women, when they have prominent figures be fat, they be on their ass. Like, we don't want this being our representation. But Black women, we be like, he gonna still cheat even if you lose weight. So we just sit fat and wonder why we are not typically, what's looked at when a man has made it and who he want to have on his arm, even though we could be, because Black women are the most beautiful women with the most beautiful bodies. So if we just stop eating so much, we could become that. If we learned how to, be more vocal. We're only vocal to people, to women in our community that want us to be better. We are never vocal about women in our community who encourage us to be mediocre, who encourage us to be below average, who encourage us not to try. You got Black women on the internet saying, as long as you took a shower today, you're doing well. And this is why we are not and will never be a symbol of economic status for any man. So this is why, when it comes to men who say, I've made it, I got money, and I'm trying to find a woman who is not, 200 pounds, I get it. I'm sorry, I do get it. There is not enough Black women who are not fat for the men who would want to make some for themselves. The fatter the women, the less money the men have to make. That's just how it goes. And so Black women, it's like a vicious cycle. The Black women are like, oh, the men don't have money, so I don't need to be skinny. The men are like, these bitches is fat, so I don't need to have the money. But it starts with the women. If the women say, we're going to present ourselves in a certain ways and we're going to say no to every man who don't meet us where we're at, that's how you get men to start making more money. That's how you inspire them to do more. But sitting around fat with an attitude is why we are not seen as the economic status for when a man makes it. Oh, I need to go get a Black girl. That's why other women are. That's the only reason why I can see a justification for the whole passport brothers thing, is if you want to be in a place where the women typically are not fat in majority. Okay. So, this part of the conversation right here, I understand what they're saying. They're saying, why does it seem like when a Black man gets some money, then he doesn't want a sister? Well, there's not enough sisters who look the part to go around. And the women who do look the part, they're not trying to be anybody's wife. They're like, shoot, I can be out here. I can have 5, 6 different men and collect the wealth from all of them. So the Black women who are in shape and are looking good, they are not really incentivized to settle down because they can technically be out there getting the wealth of multiple guys at one time. So if us being a healthy weight would be a norm for us, that would be our first step to where we could definitely become a symbol of economic status for God. And if we stop wearing bonnets in the airport, period.
Many times. That's a very small percentage of the group of overall interracial dating. Because there's only so many successful Black men at that level that can elevate and create generational wealth. Okay. Because if we keep it a stack, the most interracial relationships we see, because I've already said it before, the most interracial relationships we see is a strong, handsome Black brother with unshapely white woman. That's happy to guy. He's equally trying to be as clear as possible. Right. But it's a Black man that can have any woman he wants, but because he can put his car in her name and he can financially gain off of this white woman who looked like she had a couple of Taco Bell trips. Right. Right. And she's happy that she got her a Black man. And those are the questions of why these young Black girls like, why would he choose her and not me? Because she got the paper. Right. But either way. And that's the majority. Now
he said the girls are asking about when Black men get money, why they're not choosing sisters, not why Black men get with fat white girls. I don't get what he just said there. But
you see the athletes or the entertainers that might get them
but that's because there's only a few of you at that upper echelon. Right. But for those of you who are at the top 1%, right, income bracket, y'all go out the community to marry more than men similarly placed in their community.
It's such a small percentage, though.
Right, but Black men marry outside of their race more than every other group of men per capita.
And I'm not making this as an excuse.
Now, Nick saying, oh, it's such a small percentage. You're actually kind of proving Umar's point when you're saying that, because that's the whole point, okay? And most Black men that do make it to that top percentile of earnings, they do so through the support of the Black community. When you see like these athletes and creators and rappers, they get to where they're at from the Black community support, okay? So that's the whole point, is if there is a small portion of Black men who are at a certain economic status, that makes it even worse when majority of that small portion is not keeping the wealth inside the community and they are marrying outside. That's even worse. Saying, oh, the Black men with money, oh, it's only a few of them, so it shouldn't really matter if they're dating interracial. That, I don't know if he thought he ate or if that was going to prove the point, but that actually makes this 10 times worse. That means the brothers that we have elevated to the top of the community to make a certain amount of money should definitely be keeping it in the community. Duh. that means they're not at a plethora and just all over the place. So the few that are there should count.
So an
No,
example.
not at all.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that cannot be attributed purely to coincidence. So let me ask you a question directly, brother Nick. You have beautiful African children by beautiful non-African women.
Right.
Would you say, honestly, your decision to reproduce with non-African women, was that deliberate? I don't want my sisters, or were you a victim of unconscious self-hate programming?
Now, I've had this conversation on one of my platforms with my brother Riza Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because online they cut it up.
Okay.
And it made it seem like I was saying.
And I didn't see that clip, by the way.
Yeah, it was a clip where it pretty much was. I was saying exactly that we've been programmed and conditioned to be that the white woman is superior.
Mm-hmm.
That's and I made all the statements that there was a time
Mm-hmm.
that and obviously all the sisters came from because they just saw that
Mm-hmm.
element of the clip. There was a time in which white women were looked at as
the standard,
not just the standard, but symbols of success.
True.
And or even that are unattainable. If we go all the way back to slavery, but we not supposed, and vice versa.
Okay.
They looked at us like we ain't supposed to be messing with them, and we was looking at we are not allowed. We can die.
Right. But see, that's the difference.
Yeah.
You could die messing with them.
Right.
They're not going to die messing with you, though.
So I say all of that to say I understand the social programming, and I truly believe.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I like how Nick kind of just skipped over what Umar just said. You can die dealing with them, but they ain't gonna die dealing with you, which is what I've been said, that in my opinion, Black men who it is not natural for a man to desire intercourse with a woman that has more power over him, period. I think it's a domination kink. I don't care what no one say. It is very odd to me to have a man be attracted to a woman where at the snap of her fingers, whenever she feels it could take you and everybody around you down off of one tier. That's odd. A man naturally should want to be attracted to a woman that he is more powerful than. There is not a Black man on this planet that has more power than a white woman, unfortunately. You know, so you're literally having intercourse with someone who has your life in their hands, quite literally. Okay. And women by nature already ain't shit. So when you add white on top of that and the privilege that comes with that, you are asking for a nightmare. Black men that date interracial, Black men who are attracted to white women, and that's all you see them with all the time, they have a kink of being dominated. And in my opinion, there is also a slight homosexual undertone there as well.
Believe it so, and then that makes me, as someone who's done the research and had the understanding, goes all the way back to even defining what is race and when was race defined. And as we know,
but before you define that, does Nick Cannon have a bias against Black women when it comes to romance?
The quick answer is absolutely not. Because
how do you justify?
I say this because one, just as I got a white baby mama, I got a dark skinned baby mama too. So in that sense, I can equally say I ain't got no type. You know what I mean? Like I love.
But I would push back because as a successful,
you know, I'm kind of disturbed at the fact that Nick Cannon literally got one chocolate skin baby mama just so he could say this. You know, this whole premise of, you know, let's get a Black girl so that we make them feel included. Let's get a Black girl because we feel bad for them. Let's get a Black girl because she's just been so mistreated and she's so down and out. On behalf of all Black women, I just want to say we're okay. We don't need a pity party. Okay. It's super cringe to me when I see brothers like basically saying like we're a charity case, like, oh, but I got a Black girl in there and I'm gonna get with the Black girl because she's left out and she's forgotten. And no, thank you. If you're just not genuinely attracted to a sister, we're good on you. Okay. Me personally, I'm genuinely attracted to the Black man. Okay. I have eyes for no other. Okay. It's a Black man for me. I don't need, it's not because I feel bad for him. I don't need to be convinced. It's just my natural attraction. So I don't suggest that you get with a Black girl if you're getting with her because, oh, let me go ahead and get me one, you know, brown skin baby mama. Otherwise, I'm going to look colorist. We're okay. We are fine. Okay. You can continue on with your racially ambiguous white non-Black women. We're okay. On behalf of Black women everywhere, please stop getting with us because you feel bad for us. We're all right. I can promise you that. So you can tell that Nick was like, ooh, let me go ahead and get one dark-skinned baby mama because I need to get the heat off my back. And then the one dark-skinned baby mama he got, you can tell that he just was like, okay, what dark-skinned girl can I just put a baby in? Because she has a man that's Asian. Okay. And it was a weird cuck situation going on where she had a man. I don't know if like Nick propositioned her like, hey, you want to have a baby? But this girl was over there with Mulan the whole time while she was pregnant with Nick baby. And I'm like, So, I think it's tired of Nick. Like, Nick, just keep it real. You don't like black women, just say that. Like, you having one chocolate baby mama it's not giving, honey. You got one chocolate one and 10 white ones. And then every chance you get, you want to bring up that one chocolate one, like, see, y'all, I don't have a type. I was with a chocolate girl. No thanks. Okay, we're okay. Thank you.
Black man who has children with multiple women, for almost none of them, or let me take a positive, only one of them being of African descent, does that not suggest that you clearly search out those who are not of your racial group?
So that's why I had to go here first. And I don't want to get too deep on talking about phenotypes. Because in that sense, when I'm talking about the origin of race, because before there was race, there was phenotypes. And really, that's just based off of what we look like. So in that sense, to where I guess what the German doctor in whatever, 1700s, Dr. Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, the psychologist who said, who created race, who I think it was 7 identities, and it was everything from African to Ethiopian to white, to where they could put this hierarchy system that white was on top, therefore that they could classify while everyone else was subdominant. So in that, before that infrastructure was created, and that was even during slavery had already been established here, in America before the term race was created. So it was phenotype and what we look like and origin in which we came from. And as a Pan-African, I know you understand the ideas that even with we've been there, even within the motherland, even in the continent, there's a hierarchy of complexionism. And there's and sometimes even
introduced by the oppressor.
Of course, it's colonization, and even and now in the terms of I've gotten in trouble for this. Saying we're talking about the power of melanin in the sense of, as Tupac said, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
I would agree.
And in that sense, so yes, like I said before, there is an idea of the standard of what we believe to be beautiful. I believe a dark complected woman who embraces all of her naturalness is far superior, especially in this day, and in her beauty, than someone who is attempting to assimilate or look like someone else.
So if you have any more children, she's gonna be a chocolate goddess.
I got one. I have a daughter named Onyx.
Beautiful.
Now, but
I got one. I have a daughter named Onyx. Her name Onyx, like Black Onyx. Her name Ebony. Her name Blackity Black. I have a daughter. I have a black baby mama and a daughter named Onyx. Sir, the question was, you got 10 baby mamas, all white. One of them is black. Why? Come on, my daughter's named Onyx. See, what this is barbershop logic. This is a bunch of other mixed race loving men, white women loving men that all sit around like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because race ain't even real. Race was created. Race is 100% real. You can die, and 1,000,000 years from now, they can look at your skeleton and tell what race you were. Race is real. It is scientific. It's a thing, and it exists for a reason. Can y'all please stop with the regurgitated basic nigga talking barbershop talking points? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because race ain't even real. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even about race. It's really about economic status. It's always about race. Let's just stop. Okay. So I guess we will not get an answer to the question of you got 10 baby mamas, all white, one of them black. Why? I guess we just won't get an answer to that question. But I'm
not saying I'd have just as much love as I have for Onyx as I have for my oldest Monroe. You know,
I believe that.
And in that sense, it's unfortunate because I feel like we're the only community that has to deal with complexionism at this level. And
but white supremacy introduced that into us.
Because there's the caste system and the class system that's in India. That's
right. But caste, that is true. That is true. But who introduced that into India? They were colonized by the British.
They were as well. But again, because as you remember, and it's in the books, and I don't want to say this, but even in African consciousness, and it shows as we go all the way back to those conversations of when the white man did come on the continent, we looked at them as foreign and inferior.
Oh, absolutely. The white man was traditionally painted as the devil in African culture.
So in that,
ever encountered him.
Right. So in that, it was never at some point, and however it happened through the colonization and all of that, this idea of beauty, of a lighter complected, a thinner nose, a thinner lip individual was placed on us.
Okay. So you fell victim to that.
I don't think I did. I feel like again, like I said, and it's so complex even in my world because, you know, one of the mothers of my children has a strong, you know, Islam background. And when I say I'm Muslim from Africa, you know, and those understandings, but she's lighter complected. One would look at her and wouldn't even know. Or even in the
there is absolutely no woman that is one of your baby mamas that has a strong Muslim anything. No woman with a strong Muslim anything is about to become no man's sixth baby mama under any circumstance. Okay, so let's stop. Let's not cap for the ground. All right. With them Muslim girls, if you want to have multiple, you got to marry them all. There has to be polygamy. They have to agree on it. Okay. But ain't no woman, no real Muslim being your sixth baby mama for sure. Inshallah.
Sense of one of the mothers of my children is a dark-skinned complected, but still can be considered Afro-Latina because so it's
but African Latinos are still African.
100%.
Just a different language.
But even within their infrastructure,
yes, they have the color hierarchy.
Yeah, there's
introduced by the white supremacy. Though.
Right. So when I say that, I'm not looking to see how dark you are, how full your lips are, how wide your nose is.
Let me take it another way. When Princess Onyx grows up with her siblings, you're going to have a conversation along with their mothers about colorism.
100%.
As someone who grew up in a home with a dark sister who was darker than me, beautiful, but my older sister was darker.
Right.
I saw how she suffered some of the pangs of colorism within my extended family.
100%.
So when Onyx gets to the age where she begins to recognize race, and Brother Nick Cannon has to have that conversation with her mother and the mothers of your other children and your children, your family, you're going to have this conversation. And when you start explaining to Onyx that your blackness is in no way a sin or a curse, it's a blessing and a power.
Absolutely.
Right? When she reflects back to you,
her name is Onyx for a reason.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's black power, actually.
Yeah.
But when she reflects back to you as her father and say, well, Dad, if this color is all that great, how did you end up to reproduce so many children with women who are not this color? What?
Woo! Woo! Hello. It's me. Was wondering we could speak and go over everything, bitch. I know that's right. Hello. Hello. Oh, daughter, you are so beautiful. Oh, really? Well, how come you knocked up 10 women that look nothing like me? And how come you only knocked up my mom to have a token black girl that you had a here damn baby with to get people off your back, Daddy? These are the things we don't think about. And my thing is this. I'm all for people who just keep it real. Just say, I don't care about the black community. I don't care about the future. I don't care about the legacy. I don't care about watering down my genetics. I don't care. I'd rather people just say that. But I can't stand when people try to put this on. Oh, no. I'm not colorist. I promise you, I do like black girls. No, you don't. You use the black community, get where you want to go, and then you go outside your race. Just stand on that like a man. But this trying to explain why all these mixed children who are not black, by the way, why all these mixed children are black and how I got one black baby mama, so I do. It's like they want to keep one foot in the door enough to still get the support of the black community. Because Candace Owens is my next video. We see what's happening with Candace Owens. All these coons that turn on their community for other people, the minute they throw them away, they want to come back to the black community for our support. We ain't going. So it's like Nick has this one black baby mama and is trying to explain to us that he does like black women, because I think deep down inside he knows, and he want to just keep his foot in with the community so that he can get our support when he need to. Because what is this explaining?
What would you say to Onyx?
Dad has a problem of wanting an assortment of flavors.
Nick, if you see this, whatever you do, if and when your daughter can't understand why none of her siblings look like her, why none of her siblings' mothers look like her, for me, okay, if that means anything to you, don't tell her Daddy likes an assortment of flavors. Please don't say that to her, okay? Think of anything to say except that, okay? Just make me that promise. Just do that for me. Do that for your sister. Please don't say that as the answer, okay? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Get out of here.
It's the truth. I want to taste everything. I want to know what that tastes like. I want to know what that tastes like. And it's just, and if I'm being honest, sitting here, it's just like, and I said, I got in trouble, and I apologize because I didn't know it hit him this way. And I apologize again. I was on one of these podcasts and I was outwardly speaking, and I think
see, Nick, you just an I'm sorry ass nigga. Stop being an I'm sorry ass nigga. Nigga, say what the fuck you need to say. That's why I say you need to stand up, puff your chest out, and say I like white hoes. Yeah, I like mixed girls. Yeah, I do. Period. I don't want to deal with no all black girl. You don't do it for me. Just say that. Instead of what? Every time I turn around, you apologizing. Now you just I'm sorry ass niggas. Y'all need to stand on business. I said what I said. Okay. People already know. Don't ask me to apologize for shit. I apologize that you are expecting one. Stand on what you feel. Yeah, and I apologize because I apologize, and I apologize again. Damn, stand up, be a man. Stand up what you said. Say it with your chest.
Kind of came out the wrong way. I was speaking about my brother Travis Scott.
Okay, what happened with
and
Travis?
It was when, because
the situation that happened.
No, he has a child with Kylie Jenner.
Okay,
and I was attempting to take his side and say the statement I made. I said, in Travis dating Kylie, at no point do I think he was attempting to make a cultural statement. And in that, I think it got perceived.
But is ignorance an excuse for irresponsibility?
You asked that question before.
Yes.
I think it was perceived as him saying, but I was actually saying, I do the same thing where like, I'm doing it for love.
Okay.
I'm not doing it to be right here to say I'm doing it for my community or any of that stuff. I'm doing it because I love this woman. Now it may be, and it may be ignorant because like, I'm not thinking about what the community is going to think. I'm doing it because, man, I fell in love with this woman, regardless of her complexion, regardless of her race, regardless of her upbringing.
But do you have an obligation to the community though? You married her because you loved her.
No,
but do you have?
Because I get this all the time. You can't talk black and sleep white. You can't be black in the streets and white in the sheets.
When we look at childhood actors,
yes,
you are the most prominent, successful black childhood actor probably in American history. People think of Nick Cannon. You understand? So to all the beautiful chocolate black girls of the same complexion as your beautiful daughter Onyx, and even those of every other complexion, yours, mine, and so forth, for you to be the king of childhood actors, which means our daughters love you. They talk about you. I heard kids talk about you the other day in positive manner. Do you not feel any guilt at all for the fact you did not provide them with that wholesome example of showing them how much a black woman deserved to be loved on by not choosing one yourself?
So I've got to unpack this in many ways because sitting on a psychologist's couch, yes, I was
going to get it clear.
But I feel guilty for multiple things. And what I've learned about, there's nothing wrong with guilt. Doesn't mean shame.
I agree with you.
Guilt means accountability.
I agree with you. I totally agree.
And I say that to say, so symbolism, what our community sees, who they hold up high and revere, is all real. So I always talk about equanimity in that sense of where I must be responsible to, if I faltered in this way, I have to make up for it in this way. So I know I am unsuccessful when it comes to relationships. From I have a failed marriage, I've had many failed relationships, and this is all based off of society's measurements. And
for the record, I was a little jealous of you when you married Mariah.
It was light-skinned.
Listen, when I was in college, I mean, this is before y'all time, but when I was in college at Millersville University, Mariah Carey poster was on my wall.
Facts.
When y'all got, I said, how did Nick get Mariah?
Not Umar with Mariah in the spank bank. Awkward. Hey, used to have your ex-wife on my wall. Oh, thank you. Thank you for telling me that. That's great to know.
That's what everybody says. That. But in a sense, I say be held accountable for certain things. But in that sense, to whether it's my daughter Onyx or my other daughters and the daughters of our community, I am an example whether I want to be one or not. And that's why I was like, I don't believe in role models because roles are things that you play. I'm a real model. I'm a real individual. So therefore, there's going to be a lot of things that happen in my life that everyone's not going to agree with.
And I think you're going to rectify it because looking into the future, which only God can see, through your daughter Onyx, I think you're going to do some great things with your other children as well. But through your daughter Onyx, because of her beautiful, richly melanated, original African complexion, I think y'all going to bring forth some programs, some projects, some organizations, a cartoon, a line of children's books to build black girl self. You understand?
Because one thing I do, and I've had these conversations, one thing I do know with my daughter Onyx, I'm going to have different conversations with
her. Yes, sir, you will. Yes.
Because of the way the society is set.
And you're going to have conversations with them to make sure they remain conscious of their bias when they're relating to their system.
100%. And that because, again, their mother is probably one of the most beautiful, and I even forget even saying dark skin, because of her complexion is dark skin, but one of the most beautiful women.
I think the chocolate only adds to the beauty.
And to be able to be that with that.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It is so powerful in itself to be able to walk in the room and be so striking
I agree.
And so attractive and to not look like everyone else, especially today where every woman on Instagram looks exactly the same.
There's nothing more regal, more honorable, more earth-shattering, more attention-grabbing that when a chocolate black woman walks into the room, and I'm gonna add natural hair to that because that's my bias. But when a chocolate natural African woman walks into a room full of self-confidence and owns it, the whole room bows down. Not literally, but in a metaphorical way, because that right there is God. And what I mean by that, when I say the chocolate African woman is God, she is the original complexion of the first person God put on the planet Earth. And since the black woman is the only woman with the mitochondrial DNA, the Eve gene, and with the chocolate African woman being the most melanated, because that's the most original, she is God. And I'm saying that not to deny anyone else their divinity.
We all come from her.
Absolutely. We all come from her. And so it's just so hurtful for me, being a psychologist, working in the schools where I see the shame that a lot of our chocolate princesses endure because they've been miseducated against the fact that when you look in the mirror, you shouldn't see something ugly.
Right.
You should see the most beautiful being on earth.
Right.
And as I said, I believe you and your princess, along with your other children, y'all going to bring forth something to help shut down the colorism. Because what you do have, Nick, is you have every complexion in your children. I'm saying to you, I'm charging you in the future, because you got a long way to go. Turn that, you understand me, into a weapon of mass construction. To destroy colorism in our community.
I love it. Can I offer this up?
Y'all, we're safe, okay? Thank God that Nick Cannon and his gang of white mixed baby mamas, y'all, don't worry. They are going to solve the colorism issue in our community. You have been upgraded to one of our elite employees. Y'all, don't worry, okay? You're in poverty, if you're in colorism, our elite employee is going to save our community. Boss and CEO here of the Black Female Collective. Thank you so much, Nick Cannon, for impregnating 10 white women. Oh, what we have done without you, because now your mixed children can save colorism, y'all. Congratulations, Nick. We are so thankful for you and your gang of mixed kids. You know, we are safe now.
Just because I'm sitting on your couch, I'm right here. I need the help and the understanding. And again, by no means is this an excuse, but I want to unpack it. Could it be that my mother, who is of mixed race, and because I was thinking about this when you asked me, am I, have I been programmed or conditioned to go after a certain type of woman? If my mother, who is a lighter skinned mixed woman, if that was my example as a matriarch, and then even in her mother being of another race, and on my father's side, his mother having, as we all know, because and then as we go down our lineage, we all gonna be mixed with something. And I know as a Pan-African.
Hey, I want to say this real quick. People that say we're all mixed with something, you really don't know what you're talking about. And you really give the white man's phallus too much credit. Do you know how much white male gravy juice it would have taken back in slavery to make every single black woman birth one of his children? Hey, that's not true, by the way. I just want to put that out there. This whole we're all mixed. No, that's not true. There's actually many, many black people who are absolutely 100% black all through their DNA. I just want to let that know. Y'all give the white... How would that make sense when most of racism is based upon the fact that the black male phallus always, you can tell when a black man has been fucking your bitch? How would you sit there and give the white male phallus, who the white fertility rates continue to plummet? Why would you give the weak white male phallus that much credit to think that white men have placed their DNA in every black woman that was across the land? Them white men would have had to have farms of them just taking black women one by one and hopefully impregnating each one. We are indeed not all mixed. I wish we would stop. That's another coping mechanism. Oh, we all mixed. No, we're not. We're actually not. That would be so impossible. That would take the white male's phallus to not be the weakest phallus on this planet for that to work. That is not true. Stop saying that. Oh, we're all mixed anyway. Let's just water it down some more. No. But very interesting that Nick Cannon's mother is not black. This all makes sense now. Okay, a man naturally want a woman like his mama. Okay, now it all makes sense. We should just started with that. Okay. He his daddy's son.
An idea of holding on to the diaspora.
Yes, sir.
But the African American, and which is a whole different classification, a black person in America is mixed with everything.
Right.
So for anyone to sit and say,
but those mixtures does not take away from the fact you're still African.
100%,
because we're the strongest DNA.
100%. So if people say, you know, again, because you said you got a lot of this ideology because you look and see what you came from your mother.
Yes.
So if I look and my mother looks
Mhm.
and has the complexion of a look that is maybe similar to a lot of the mothers of my children.
Okay.
You know, there's been a lot of conversations where they talk about, you know, my mother and Mariah.
Okay. Do they look similar in complexion?
Yes. They look like they cut from the same cloth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And various, if we're just talking about complexionism, psychologically, would you think that maybe is that more of the reason?
It definitely plays a role. Because
you know,
I was going to ask you earlier in this conversation, do you feel that your mother or grandmother could have influenced your taste in women?
Right.
Because our mothers do influence us, right? Because my mother happens to be my complexion. In fact, I look more like my mother than any of her other 6 children.
Okay.
The mother is the first teacher, as we all know.
I say my mother is, you know, light skin, curly hair. You know, you know,
and she's still with us in the flesh.
Absolutely.
So if I were to have a conversation with your queen mother, I would ask her, not only does your son possibly prefer women of your complexion because you are his first example of love? Our first love affair is our mother, right?
Absolutely.
But I would also ask her, is it possible, in addition to you simply being his first love affair, spiritually speaking, did you pass down core beliefs to your son as it relates to women and complexion? In other words, was it purely by example of her existence as your mother? Or were there certain beliefs and messages she gave to you and values based on skin tone? Could she have inadvertently transferred some of her beliefs onto you in terms of white is better or prettier or lighter girls are more? You know what I mean?
We probably never had that conversation.
Right.
But it's just the example of watching what she was assimilating to the idea of what society shows us.
Right.
You know what I mean? As we sit back and talk about where you said you had posters of Mariah on the wall. You know, Mariah
and one of the things I respected about Mariah. I don't know her whole history, but one of the things I did respect about Mariah, because what happened is when rest in peace Whitney Houston kind of receded, actually as you navigate that terrain with your children, will Nick Cannon be unapologetic about letting them know they're black?
100%.
Okay.
That's easy.
Or will you get pushback from their mothers?
Nah, they're black. They know, again, because of the society. My children are black. And that's even that, because to me, that conversation.
But are their mothers on board?
But no, but that's that conversation about generational wealth that we got to throw out the window, because everybody says, oh, you know, if you go date outside your race, then where's the general wealth conversation?
Okay.
All right. So once again, Umar asked a very specific question, and Nick cannot just answer the question. He's saying, you got to ask him like 10 questions to get to the root of the question. He's saying, are the mothers going to be on board with, you know, letting your children refer to themselves as just black and completely disregarding them? I'm going to give you the answer, and why it's going to take him 1 hour to give us some type of answer. The answer is no. And they're absolutely correct in that. If I am white and I have a baby with a black man, my kids are going to call themselves biracial. You are not about to erase me, and I carried these children for 9 months and birthed them out. It is rude. It is so rude to be mixed and have a parent of a whole different race and disregard them completely and tell people I'm black. So just fuck your other parent, huh? No, you need to say I'm biracial. You need to acknowledge both of your parents. White, black, or purple, those are your parents. Okay. And the answer number 2 is no. No, they will not. How would they, as white women, be able? Let's take it back. 12 children, 8 different moms, however many different moms it is. That means automatically that Nick, if he's lucky, will see his children. Maybe if he was to spend his entire day traveling and going to visit each child, by the end of the week, he'd have to start back over at the first child again. So that means Nick is going to have very little to zero influence over these children that are black. They will be raised by white women. They will handle their emotions like white women. They will think like white women. They will move like white women. You know who the perfect example of that is? T.I.'s son, King Harris, who spent most of his time with his white grandmother. And lo and behold, out of all of T.I.'s children, the one that spent most of his time at his white grandma's house is now the Karen of the family, airing their family business out, trying to play the victim and get people on his side as a power tool. So the only hope that Nick's children would have to even be able to comfortably identify as black and have that instilled in their everyday culture was if they were living with Nick full time. Okay, that would be the only way. You'll probably see these children 2 to 3 times a month on a good month. Because on top of all your children being in different states, different households, you also have a career. You also have a demanding career that takes up most of your time. So the answer is no. They will be raised by white women who are not Black women. You cannot fake the Black experience. Where these white girls are going to go read a book, how to teach your kid to be Black. No, they're not. And then your mixed kids will grow up like every other mixed kid and say, I'm not white enough for the whites. I'm not Black enough for the Black. And why are y'all gatekeeping Blackness? And I'm so confused. Every Black girl know that one Black girl with a white mom, a mixed girl with a white mom. And she's like, I don't know how to do my hair. Can you guys show me? No, bitch. I cannot stand when a mixed girl want to come in your face. Can you teach me? No. Your daddy should have had a baby with a Black girl. I'm not teaching you nothing. Pay me. Bye. That's the reality of what will happen with your children, Nick. Okay, let's just keep it real. You're not going to be there to influence them children. Children follow the behaviors of the mom. The mom has the most influence over children. You have 1,000 baby mamas. You can't even be there. Okay, so the answer is no. They will teach their children the best they can as white women, period.
They have me as the father, as whether it's the law or whether it's the one drop rule or whether in America,
yes,
you are Black.
That's true. But do their mothers support?
100%.
Okay, so they have no problem with you letting them know you're Black. Okay, okay, because you know sometimes
they want to be called mixed or I'm just much as this. That
sometimes the non-African mother of the mixed race African children are not comfortable with. In fact, I had a debate. It was respectful with a white woman at one of my lectures in Tallahassee or Tampa, and we debated because she says, I do not want my daughter who has a Black father. I do not want her identifying as Black. I want her identifying as mixed race. And you know what?
Period. As she should. As she should. She is 100% correct. You will not erase me from my child. No, I will be acknowledged just as much as the other parent. Absolutely. 100%. I cannot stand how we try to base who is Black or not off of what white people think. Oh, you Black because when the white folk look at you, it's the one drop rule and you gonna get caught up by the police too. Whatever. When we talk about this, we're talking about what you're genetically predisposed to. We're talking about the way you think, the way you process things. And when you have someone, like if it's a boy with a Black mom and a white dad, they be super odd because in their mind, they think and process things like a white man. Okay. The mixed community will be the first ones where I don't know who need to hear this, but in order to be a healthy Black person, you have to be pro-segregation. Because desegregation was the worst thing that happened to us as a people. If somebody is mixed, what would you be telling them? To disregard an entire half of their family? No. The mixed race always has to straddle the fence because they have a stake in the game equally on both sides. So that mother who said, I don't want my kid just saying I'm Black. I want them to say they're biracial. She's correct. They are incorrect. Period.
I had to explain to her.
What did you explain?
Because you are racist. You cannot admit that a Black child came from your womb. And because of your own core.
It is so disrespectful. Even the white girls know that their womb is too weak to produce a Black child. That's sad when even the white women are telling you, I don't think that's a good idea to say that me as a white woman produced a Black child. That is so rude. Okay, this child was inside of a white body, uncooked chicken, a white womb, a weak white uterus. No. I'm sorry. And that woman is correct. That's disrespectful. I cannot sit here as a white woman and be like, yes, I birthed a Black child. No, you birthed a biracial child. End of story. Okay.
Beliefs about African inferiority. You would rather raise your child with a lie that she's mixed race than raise her with the truth that she is Black. You're forcing her to live a confused life because you don't want to bear your shame.
No. The confused life is trying to force yourself on either side when you love both sides. You love your mom and your dad. That's the confused side. The confusion happens where this child is biracial and you're telling them, no, you're Black. And they're like, but what about my mom? My mom's white. My grandmama's white. The people I've spent most of the time. So you're saying that they're not even, that's where the confusion comes from. Biracial is its own thing. It's its own section. Okay. We got to stop saying, well, based off of how the police treat us, like, hello, that is really giving up your power. All right. The confusion comes from making that child say, oh, you're Black, you're Black. Well, what about this whole other half of me as well? Hello.
Why?
And guess what? She peacefully bowed out.
She had to. But this is my only question to that is, why can't you be both? And I only say that because at the core, the foundation, you're black.
Absolutely.
There's no other question.
And the reason you can't be both, you still have a white parent.
Right.
You never, and I tell mixed race children this, you don't ever disrespect your mother. That is your mother. You tell the world, I don't get you black, white, purple. She brought you here. That's mom. Yeah, yeah. You understand? But racially, spiritually, genetically, anatomically, society, you are African because we are the dominant DNA. Right. And we are the birthers of the other group. So when you say I'm half of something that came from you.
See, you know, at the end of the day, the strongest emotion of a man is his hard dick. That's just what it is. Okay. And the reason why you only see black men that do this whole mixed people are black is because they want to be able to sleep with mixed girls. Okay. Their desire to sleep with women is going to supersede everything that actually makes sense. You typically don't see black women trying to explain and convince us that this mixed guy is black, because black women tend to not, you know, salivate over mixed men. I think that's a nightmare to date a man that is mixed with a white father. I can only imagine. I'm trembling. I'm shaking in my boots of thinking it. But when you see men be like, yeah, you know, she mixed, but she's black though. She's a black queen though. Like when Tyrese gave us that mixed girl talking about his black queen. Y'all just want to sleep with mixed girls. Just say that. Low key, y'all like when they're raised by a white mama, because y'all know what I'm saying is the truth, that their brain work like a white woman, right? Come on, just say it. Just say, we want to sit and tell y'all that mixed women are black because we want to be able to sleep with them. Just say that. Okay. That's why you don't hear women saying that. You only hear men saying that. It's just a way to justify sleeping with them. Once again, I'd rather a man just say it with his chest. I like mixed women. I like when they have a white mama. It gives me a girl with a little bit of color, but she still let me get away with stiff and think like a white girl. Just say that. What the hell? I don't know why y'all. And the fact that y'all continue to try to explain and try to gaslight us just shows that y'all know y'all wrong. So why not just do right? Why not just do right instead of having to constantly trying to gaslight us and explain to us that these women are black and these people are black? Why? I don't understand.
Your blackness. Right. It doesn't even make sense. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of our mixed race children are so confused, Brother Nick, because they have the non-African parent trying to hypnotize them into believing the world is going to see them as biracial. When your children walk down the street, and I know you know this, so I'm not teaching you nothing. When your children walk down the street, nobody says there goes a half black child. There goes a black child. You
get pulled over from the police.
Absolutely.
Here it go. I knew that police talking point was coming. Majority of people who are biracial, no, you don't look at them and say, oh, they're black. You look at them and they look mixed. Or you look at them and say, I don't know what race you are. That's what racially ambiguous means. It means, I don't know what you are. No, we don't look at them majority of the time and be like, oh, that's a black person. Some people are mixed and they look completely black, but majority of them, you can tell they're mixed. Stop the shit, okay? And when you look at them, that's why most mixed people always get asked the question, what are you? That's what it is. Everybody confused. No, you rarely look at a mixed person like, oh, I know they're mixed with black and white. You can tell they're mixed. You just don't know. They could be mixed with Asian or whatever. You don't know. So that's why mixed people, they'll tell you that. They get tired of asking. People always ask me, what am I? Yeah, because you're ambiguous. We don't know what the fuck you are. They're the gray area. That's why they can be both. That's why they can ride the fence, because you don't know what they are. When you look at them, you don't know. That's what ambiguous means.
Get your black ass out the car.
Absolutely. But
get
again,
your mixed race
going back to the mission I see you having in your future.
Yeah.
As I said, with your children, y'all going to be able to do a lot.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Just give me a second, y'all. Okay, I need to figure something out here. All right. I'm going to stop sharing this screen for a second, and we just need to quickly have a look at Nick Cannon's children, because according to him, these kids just look completely black, and if they get pulled over by the police, they getting hung up by a tree. Okay. So, how do I want to make this bigger. Y'all help me understand. Okay. Do we see these children and think, never, I'm going to string you up by a tree? We don't. Okay. When we look at these children, I look at them and I would think what we all would think is, what are you? What are you mixed with? That's what we think. Okay. We don't look at these children and think, oh my God, we're going to string them up by a tree. They look racially ambiguous. I do not look at these children and be like, look at these black ass children. I don't. If I saw these people, I would say, I wonder what they are. I wonder what they're mixed with. That's what I would say. So can we please stop this whole, oh, the police are going to think that? No, they're not. We would look at those kids and we wouldn't know what they was. I'm just going to be the one to tell you. We would have no clue. But anywho, let's continue.
To combat colorism, and y'all gonna be able to do a lot to educate mixed race children on their African heritage. Because let's be honest, there's more of them than ever before.
Yes.
And most of them, because I know, because they come to me, even the adults, they feel isolated. So what if Nick Cannon and his children come out with a line of books?
Yeah.
You feel me? With mixed race characters where they go through the struggles of what it is to be black, having a not. You understand me?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. On that note, we're going to just stop there because I'm done with this child. Not that Nick Cannon, his goal in life is going to be to make books about the struggles of mixed race children. You know? He's saying, yeah, because there's a lot of them. Okay, what it come down to is this. Everybody just need to stop capping. Okay, there are some people where they get it, you know, they understand that things are bigger than themselves. They're willing to, you know, follow a procedure. They're worried about, you know, legacy, genetics. There are some Black people that respect their ancestors. There are some Black people that desire validation from their ancestors, want to honor them. And there are some who are like, I'm just here in this life to do me, get what I want, do what make me happy. And I wish those people would just be more honest about what they want and who they are. Okay, if you're a Black man and you're like, listen, I don't care about all that community, all that ancestor stuff, that don't mean nothing to me. I'm about to do what I need to do and get mine. To hell with y'all. I respect that 1,000 times more than someone who was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if I'm like, yeah, you know, listen, let me tell you right now, Porsche is the best car you can buy. Okay. I own the company. I am telling y'all right now, this car, there is nothing like it. It is the best, period. All right. I put my stamp on it. I have founded this company. You won't find a car better. I like, now y'all have a good day. And I pick up my keys to my Mercedes Benz. Hold up. Now you just told us that you own Porsche and Porsche the best car. And so why you don't drive one? That's what it comes down to. So, you know, that's my thing. Just have honesty. You know, some people get it, some people don't. And whatever you do, just stand on that. That's my thing. Okay. There's no need for debate on can you be pro-Black and date outside your race. The answer is simply no. We have to stop with this weird thing of like prying and forcing yourself into titles and communities that you just don't align with. Okay, just say that. If you're going to be with it, be with the program. If you're not, you won't. All right. But this whole, we're going to have mixed children to stop colorism. Let's not do that. Okay. We're going to not do that and say we did. I thought this interview was super cringe. I interviewed, but whatever this was, I thought it was super cringe. We have to, you know, I feel there's enough Black people that get it, that want their children to look like them, that want their children to be fully Black. I think we have enough Black people like that to where, you know, the few that decide not to value that, I don't feel as though it's going to have that much of an impact on us. I think more of us get it than don't. You know, and that's just my thoughts on that. So y'all, please, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Can you be pro-Black in your opinion and date outside your race? What is the thoughts and feelings about this? Let me know in the comments. Like the video. Make sure y'all are subscribed to the channel, and I will see y'all on the next